Hi there, welcome. This is Angel Rivera, the Itinerant Librarian, and I'm just jumping in while I have a chance to highlight some books that we just received here at Hutchins Library that I might add to my TBR reading list, and I think that you might find interesting, and maybe you want to find them in a library near you. So these are just going to be short highlights of what the book is about, and see if you're interested or not. So these are in no particular order. I'm going to be reading from my notes, so if you see me looking down, that's what that is. Let's go ahead and start. The first one is Avoiding the News, Reluctant Audiences for Journalism. It is published by Columbia University Press. There it is, Avoiding the News. Sounds like the kind of thing we all should be doing these days. Anyhow, we constantly hear about the sad state of news sources and how bad journalism is, especially in the United States. That topic could cover quite a few other books. This book looks at the growing number of people here and abroad who say, well, F it, and outright avoid news in any way, shape, or form. In my line of work as a librarian, I can minimize the exposure, but unfortunately, I can't really afford to tune out completely. I honestly try to imagine what would it be like if I never had to hear another piece of news ever again? But for me, that is not an option. So that's one of the reasons I was curious about this book. The book looks at issues such as why and how people circumvent the news, who is more or less likely to follow the news, and how is avoidance a problem. Again, the book is Avoiding the News, Reluctant Audiences for Journalism, published by Columbia University Press. The next one is called Milltown, Reckoning with What Remains. It is published by St. Martin's. Here's the title page. For this one, the author grew up in a small rural Maine town where the community revolved around a paper mill. The mill employed 3 generations of the author's family. However, that employment comes with various costs, such as environmental costs and economic as well. The mill eventually closes. This is published by St. Martin's in 2020, but it did receive a variety of awards, which is part of why I'm curious. It is a bit of memoir and a bit of expose. Again, the book is Milltown, and it is third book. We hear a lot of folks, especially in social media, talk about concerns about privacy online and things like that, and how big companies often collect your data. So I thought this would be of interest. The book is called We the Data, Human Rights in the Digital Age. There's the cover, We the Data. This is published by the MIT Press. Let me read a little bit from my notes. Privacy and individual safety online have been issues practically since the arrival of the internet. However, given various very negative revelations of malfeasance, corruption, and greed from major tech companies, privacy concerns seem to be the order of the day lately. This book explores how pervasive data collection and tracking really is. This book explores topics such as data rights, as in your data rights, facial recognition technology, posthumous rights. That right there is what got me curious. What happens to your data and your digital life after you die? I've seen a little blog post here or there talking about that, but I hope this book will add more to that topic about what happens to your data when you pass away. Another topic it covers is the need for data literacy. The author argues for and suggests how to claim our human rights in this data age. Again, the book is We the Data, Human Rights in the Digital Age. There's the cover of the book, and it's published by the MIT Press. Next, we have a look at the social media channel that people these days love to hate because it's awful. And the book is Battle for the Bird. Jack Dorsey, Elon Musk, and the 44 billion fight for Twitter's soul. There's the title page. This is published by Atria Books. What can I say? We all know Twitter really went down the drain after you-know-who bought it and turned it into his personal Nazi bar, to put it mildly. I eventually did join the exodus of those who left. This book looks at Twitter's messed up corporate culture and history. It takes us from Jack Dorsey's return to Twitter in 2015 through Donald Trump's rise and fall on Twitter to Eli Colon's purchase. The book includes source interviews. It sounds like the kind of book for folks interested in topics like social media, technology, business, corporations, and corporate dramas. I tend to have an interest in books about corporations here or there, so that's probably why I'm adding it. The book is published by Simon & Schuster. It was published this year. It's brand new. And again, the book is, let me get the exact title, Battle for the Bird, Jack Dorsey, Elon Musk, and the 44 billion fight for Twitter. So, there it is. And I got 2 more to go. Next, it's called The Grift, the downward spiral of black Republicans from the party of Lincoln to the cult of Trump. This is published by Sourcebooks. This is the cover page, The Grift. Are you like me, not quite understanding how there are plenty of black people supporting the Republican Party, and happily so? Then this book might be for you. The GOP has not been the party of Lincoln for decades, so that excuse, let's be honest, no longer flies. This was the party of men like Frederick Douglass, for Christ's sakes. And now, well, it's an RWNJ, Christo-fascist clusterbuck in the thrall of Trump. In this book, the author looks at the history of black Republicans to see what happened and maybe find hope for the future. However, I still get the feeling I'm going to be puzzled still after I read it, but I'm willing to give it a try. We'll see how it goes. Maybe I'll learn something new. Again, the book is The Grift, the downward spiral of black Republicans from the party of Lincoln to the cult of Trump, published by Sourcebooks. There's the cover. And my last one for this month, the book Barron's, Money, Power, and the Corruption of America's Food Industry. It is published by Island Press. It's got a really light, I don't know if you're going to be able to see that. The title page is really light. Sorry about that. In academic library, we take the covers out of the books. What can I say? This is likely the book I'm going to pick up right away from to read right now. I've read a couple of good reviews on it, and I do enjoy reading a bit of corporate histories. That's also why I picked it up. This book looks at the major companies that pretty much control the U.S. food supply. It looks at 7 robber barons and their corporate empires, often built on the foundations of corruption, bribery, maybe even some Nazi money. This book reminds me of that old Balzac quote, a quote that I often remember because it is the opening epigraph of the novel The Godfather of all things. But the quote is, "Behind every great fortune, there is a crime." This was published by Island Press in 2024. Again, the book is Barron's, Money, Power, and the Corruption of America's Food Industry by Island Press. Here's the cover again. I hope you can see some of it. I will place links to WorldCat down below so you can find them in a library near you if you're interested. And if you happen to read any of these and you want to comment, please feel free to do so. If you like the book, you know the drill from this point on. If you like the video, click like, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more stuff. And feel free to share with your friends and neighbors. Once again, thank you for watching. And in the words of Walter Mercado, mucha paz, mucho amor. Thank you. Have a great time. Bye-bye.